Coming up on the December edition of Channel 12's Lakeside News, we'll introduce you to local mystery writer Mary Monica Pulver in this month's Around the Lake. Brrr! We'll brave the elements to preview the upcoming Arctic Fever celebration. Dane Reinitz will tell us all about the history of Twin Burch. And it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Mound kicks off the holiday season with their annual tree lighting event. Lakeside News is next. Hi, I'm Chris Felt and welcome to Lakeside News, where you'll find news and events from around the lake area. In this month's Around the Lake, we'll introduce you to a local mystery writer who cooks up entertaining murder mysteries in the town of Excelsior. Tyler Rabe reports.
It occurred to him to wonder what had tripped him, and he went over to kick at it, using his cell phone to weakly light the area, and dislodged enough snow to disclose the blank, cold face of an old woman with hair the color of the snow.
Author Mary Monica Pulver spins yarns about the risky field of needlework.
Poor Excelsior, I am just doing terrible things to Excelsior.
And she finds her inspiration in the small town of Excelsior.
I needed an intact small town within driving distance of St. Louis Park, so I could visit it often. And I picked Excelsior because it's charming. It really is. It's a sweet little town. It's got a nice history, an interesting history. Kind of a theme of these books is that somebody who is innocent, who is suspected of a crime, will come to Betsy, and then Betsy proves that they didn't do it. The book does write itself, pretty much. I have an idea of the murder. That's usually where I start. I come up with a body first, and then I figure out who did it and how and why. So that's pretty much set in concrete. Well, mystery stories are moral tales. They have a bad guy and a good guy, and at the end, the bad guy is vanquished, which is good. Well, I try every so often to write something else, but sooner or later, I kill somebody. It's just, I get a little bored. We need some excitement. I try to be good-humored about it, even though it's murder. You don't have to go into all the gory details. I think that these in all are comfort reads, because because they're amongst ordinary people that you can identify with. One of the reasons I like Excelsior is because there's always something interesting going on, and it has these interesting shops, and it's fun, again, to use real people.
Mary Monica has been a published author since 1987 and has developed a formula to keep her cozy novels coming.
Getting the idea is fun. It's exciting. You think, oh, that would work. What a great idea. You go someplace and you think, oh, boy, you could hide the body here very easily. And then you start it, and you get your grabber going, and you think, okay, this is going to work. This is going to work. And then, like I say, you get involved with the characters, and you watch them as they're reacting to things. I like Betsy. She's fun. I like the group of friends she has around her. She just picks up a little clue here and there and breaks alibis or whatever, and then the bad guy is caught and removed from the group, and order is restored. And that's comforting. There's so much bad news going on in the world today, and people start to feel helpless about it. There's nothing we can do about this. And so you need a place to go where things are going to be all right.
Apart from writing, Mary Monica holds a special place in her heart for one unique piece of fashion.
She had antique hats, and I happened to have an outfit. Then she had this marvelous hat from the 40s, a Myrnoloy hat, absolutely wonderful hat, that went with the outfit. And I bought it and I wore it, and it was like everybody was complimenting me on it, and I thought, oh.
Fortunately, Mary Monica will continue to write novels using Excelsior as the setting. However, coming up with the titles is still a mystery.
I now have a standing offer of a free novel, suitably autographed, to anyone who can give me a title I can use. And it has to be 4 or fewer words, it has to have a needlework term in it, and it has to have an element of threat.
I'm Jen Olson, State Senator from Senate District 33, which serves all of the Lake Minnetonka communities within Hennepin County. I always appreciate the opportunity to come and be a part of Capital Update And also, I welcome hearing from many constituents who say they have watched the program. So thank you for the wonderful service that you give to our whole area at Lake Minnetonka Cable Communications.
Have you checked out the LMCC website lately? It's been redesigned and we're now online. Check us out at www.lmcc-tv.org. Welcome back. Ice-cold conditions couldn't stop Sue Davis from previewing this year's Arctic Fever celebration. Brr, I'm getting cold just thinking about it.
Hey folks, guess what time it is? It's time to start talking about Arctic Fever. I'm Sue Davis, and my sidekick this year is
Coco Gehring.
And we're here to tell you about some of the new things that have been added to the Arctic Fever agenda this year. Arctic Fever will happen in January, the weekend of Martin Luther King weekend. It's a 3-day weekend, so it's almost like a staycation. January 14th and 15th, all day. Back from last year are the famous sleigh rides. Everybody loves it. Ken Tice is our provider. He says it's one of the nicest trails that he does a sleigh ride on. That is sponsored by Wintergreen. Wintergreen Northern Wear is an apparel manufacturer out of Ely, Minnesota. They're all about winter, and we'll be talking to them later on in the set. We also have ski joring.
Ski joring is cross-country skiing with a dog harness to your waist.
We have pros, sport class, and novices, and we're going to have an enlarged trail this year. The race trail will be going south almost to Victoria and then coming back to our park. We're also adding dog sled races. In addition to our dog sled rides, which will be expanded, last year we gave about 250 rides, and we're hoping to be able to give more this next year. But we'll also be having a race. And Midwest Ski Joring Club kind of kicks off their race season with the Arctic Fever event, so that's very exciting for us. We also will have our famous Sugar Mountain back, assuming that we have a lot of snow.
Public Works, instead of plowing it to the side of the road, picks it all up and makes a snow hill for the kids.
And they bring us an awesome snow hill. Public Works will also be building us a skating rink here by Eddy Station. Eddy Station was originally designed to be a warming house, so we'll have a skating rink. In addition to having some snowshoes and kick sleds available for kids to play with and people to try out, there'll be snowshoes of all sizes. And then, of course, our bonfire, where you can wait and have hot chocolate and s'mores while you wait for your ride on the sleigh ride. We're at Manitou Park, and it's the second stop on our Arctic Fever tour. Manitou Park is one of the great places for families with little children. We've got an owl show, which is very fun to watch. We have human bowling, which is putting the kids on a flying saucer and spinning them around and sending them down the ice to kick over a set of bowling pins. That's lots of fun. And there'll also be cocoa and s'mores provided by Cub Foods, and Caribou Coffee, as always, at all locations provided by Caribou. We're here at the American Legion Post 259 in Excelsior. Actually, it's in Shorewood. And this year, we have a very special event added to our party. The very first year of Arctic Fever, we had an ice fishing contest. It was very popular, and we have not been able to find anyone to offer one since. It is the one thing that everybody asks for when we ask what else we would like to have added. We've got one this year. I've got John Lodge and Rick Fearland are going to tell you about the ice fishing contest this year.
Well, our Sportsman's Club has a fishing contest every winter, and this year we moved up to January to coincide with her party, and it's going to be out in Minnetonka. We haven't picked a location yet because we're not sure what the weather's going to be like, but it's going to be big. There's going to be at least 200 people there, and plenty of food and a lot of fun, lots of games. John is my event coordinator, and he's been working feverishly at putting this thing together. So if you'd like to say a few things, John.
Well, actually, I don't know how feverishly, but we've had at least 2 years' experience, so we're hoping that we've learned enough to produce a bigger event than we did the last couple of years. But it's more fun than it is catching fish because we have ice bowling and golf, and those have been very popular.
There'll be a $10 charge for adults, and the children will fish free. And just as a word of notice, you need to have a fishing license. They'll be available in several places, and we'll have a list of places that you can get a fishing license on your packet for registering for the ice fishing contest. Anything else that we've got to?
Well, if you buy a ticket for the $10 fishing tournament, you are automatically in for prize drawings, and we're going to have a lot of prizes this year. So it's definitely worth coming out for the day.
There'll be a lot of prizes. Even for the games, there'll be little prizes. So it'll be worthwhile to come out. And if you're a snowmobiler, please come out and visit us on the ice, because it's one of the few places that you'll be able to bring your snowmobile. You obviously can't be on the trails or in the parks, but it'll be a great opportunity to have a nice party out there. And bring the kids. This is a family event. We're at the South Shore Center now, and we'd like to invite you to this year's Snow Princess Tea. This year it'll be on Sunday, January 15th, from 2 to 3:30. Doors will open at 1 o'clock. And Coco was at the tea last year. So Coco, why don't you tell us what you found out last year?
Well, last year I sat down at a table with my grandmother and mother, and the entertainment was the Snow Princess. The Snow Princess had the smaller girls sit down around her. She asked them their names, told them a story, and sang them a song. And there was a drawing for an American Girl doll last year.
And we're going to have a drawing this year too?
Yes, we are.
This year she's got snowshoes on, and as you know, we've got snowshoeing in a couple of our parks. So Coco, what did you have for food and beverage?
Well, last year we had, for food, like little sandwiches, maybe crackers and little cheeses. And for dessert, there was a plate of cookies, there was truffles. And for drinks, you could either have tea, or if you didn't like tea, you could have hot chocolate.
To register for the tea, you can go to the website, www.arcticfever.net, and pick on the icon. You can register in person at Sherwood City Hall, or you can register by mail. If you want to come as a group, you need to register as a group, and seating is being assigned based on when you register. So registration has started already. If you need information, call City Hall and speak with Twyla. Otherwise, go right to the website. Well, we're here in Excelsior at Petunia's, my favorite shop in Excelsior, and I've got Natalie Hagemo with me. She's with the Excelsior Downtown Business Group and with Mound.com. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, Sue.
Well, we're here to talk about what's happening in Excelsior this year for Arctic Fever.
We have a lot going on this year, as we usually do. Starting off the day, what kicks it off at 10:30 at the Excelsior Library is a puppet show put on by the Friends of the Library, and it's always very well attended. You want to show up early for that because we expect a lot of people to come.
Usually about 100 people come for that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then at the end of the puppet show, we do the awards. We announce the winners of the coloring contest. So
yeah, and how do we enter the coloring contest?
Coloring contest, all of the pictures will be available in many of the merchants. You can download them at the Arctic Fever website. They will come in your city newsletter. So if you need to get a picture to color, it's at www.arcticfever.net, and you can download it, print it on your own computer. And you bring it in when you turn it in at the Excelsior Public Library. They'll give you, each child who enters gets a little prize. Here we have the doll. This is the American Girl doll that we're giving away at the tea, and the doll is sponsored by Mom.com.
Yes, it
and
is.
tell us what it's all about.
Mom.com is a new website that we launched in the western suburbs here in the Twin Cities. And basically what it is, it's a daily deal site for local families that'll connect them with merchants. And additionally, we're going to be adding on content from local bloggers. We're going to add online forums where moms and dads, too, can get online and talk about all kinds of local issues, things going on in the western suburbs. And it's free to sign up. You just go to mom.com, enter your email, your zip code, and make sure you click on Minneapolis suburbs.
We're here in Wayzata in the Wintergreen Northern Wear store with Kurt Stacy.
Hello.
The owner of the company. So Kurt, tell us about Wintergreen Northern Wear and how important it is to Minnesota.
Well, Wintergreen Northern Wear has been around for about 25 years, and we make polar expedition wear and also designer clothing. And we've been doing that for a lot of the individuals that are coming up to Ely, Minnesota, that go dog sledding, ski touring, and everything from snowshoeing to downhill and snowboarding. The product that we manufacture is really kind of a unique scenario because nowadays most every label that you look into on garments, they really don't have the product is either made somewhere else, and if you look inside our Wintergreen product, you'll see it's made in the USA.
Wintergreen Northern Wear is one of our major sponsors this year. They're new on board, and we really appreciate it. We could not continue to bring Arctic Fever to the community at no charge without sponsorships like this. So I really want to thank you, and hopefully it's good for you as it's good for us.
Well, we're really excited to be part of this community. We're excited to really spend a lot of time down here. As I said, we grew up here, and really we just wanted to get a little bit of Ely down here so that people can see what we make and what others I have enjoyed for many, many years. And being part of this community is real important to my wife, myself, and my children.
Arctic Fever is a project of the cities of Shorewood, Excelsior, and Tonka Bay, and without their cooperation and support, this would not be possible. The public works departments of all of three of those cities build our trails, groom our parking lots for all the people that come. They build us ice skating rinks. Shorewood Public Works builds the fantastic Sugar Mountain for the sliding, and even mans the bonfires and entertains people while they're waiting for their sleigh ride. So we have a big debt of gratitude to pay to all of our Public Works departments. We also rely on contributions to the Shorewood Parks Foundation and sponsorships by people such as Wintergreen, the Excelsior Legion Post 259, Bolton and Mank, engineers in Chaska, people who want to help the community provide something fun like this for the families, and it helps keep it free. So if you have an opportunity to go to our website, arcticfever.net, and take a look at who's supporting this event, we would really appreciate it. And if you happen to be in one of those businesses, mention that you saw them. Thank you.
Coming up next, we'll learn all about the history of Twin Burch. Lakeside News returns in a moment.
Previously on America's favorite daytime drama, Lake Minnetonka. Brick has a secret.
Bunny,
Yes, Brick?
I have a secret.
What is it?
We interrupt this program to bring you this important message.
The Lake Minnetonka Communications Commission, located in Spring Park, Minnesota, offers free television production classes. You heard it right. Free, free, free. All you need to do is sign up and show up to receive your special TV training. That's right, folks. That's it.
Wow, that sure looks easy.
Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help bring your idea to the big screen. Well, that is if you have a big screen.
Why, thank you. We are very friendly and knowledgeable.
You'll learn the secrets of how a television studio works.
If you can't see video, try taking off the lens cap.
Wow! Thanks, LMCC.
From studio lighting and nonlinear editing to on-location shooting, we'll guide you down the path you need to succeed. Just call us at 952-471-7125 or go to our website at www.lmcc-tv.org to get started today. Hurry in, folks. An opportunity this good won't last forever.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
So, you're not mad?
Of course not, you big lug. I just wish that you would have told me about LMCC's production classes. Maybe next time we can take classes.
Together?
I'm going to start speaking on the beginning of Twin Burch. In 1922, Alice and her husband Charles Minnow sold the farm in Wisconsin. Alice had a cousin about her same age, which was about 31. And she had a cousin and an aunt who were living here in the area behind the Minnetonka Drive-In, or the A&W as we all remember it. The cousins had a business in Minneapolis and a summer cottage out here in Spring Park. Alice and her then husband, he was about 20 years older than she was, and her daughter Hazel, who was our mother was about 14 at that time. They were convinced by their cousins that this was the land of milk and honey and a perfect place to relocate to. This was a huge leap of faith for Alice as she left her large extended family back in Wisconsin to move here to this area. Charlie became ill with a heart problem and died of a heart attack in 1933. Alice and her daughter had to figure out how to make a living. Alice and Hazel made fruit pies from the fruit trees that were on the property, and Alice and Hazel both brought it by wagon down to the bakery in Seton. Later on, we would all know that as Overby's. Those of you who go back and remember names from the past. Alice also started raising chickens and buying steaks and began preparing restaurant meals. Of course, they named the restaurant Twin Burch Inn. It was because there were two beautiful birch trees that were located on the property. They would use the finest linens and tableware and silverware that they were able to afford, which many times were gifts from other people. They would take reservations for larger parties and utilize different neighbors to help with the kitchen work and the yard work as needed and with taking care of the chickens. During the 1930s, Alice started making noon meals for local workers. Many of those workers came from Ed Streeter. Ed Streeter had started a cabinet shop in Spring Park. Another man who would send workers for noon meals would be Bud Smith, who later owned a gas station in Seton. Men would come to the area, get a job, and then Mr. Streeter or Bud Smith would tell them, there's a place up the road where you can get a hot meal at noon. Alice also had all these extra rooms to fill that she had closed up during the Depression, so she began renting out the rooms to these workers as well. They were boarders. She provided the meal for them. In about 1936, a middle-aged carpenter named Oscar Westland got a job at Streeter's and became a boarder. They developed a late-in-life romance, and they married in 1937. They were happily married until his death in 1954. He had had a severe stroke about 14 months before he died. Alice gave him round-the-clock care herself and made his final days as happy as possible. Twin Burch Nursing Home kind of began in 1952. Alice was asked by Lillian Trask, the next-door neighbor to the west, to care for her failing mother. She was the first resident, and it was a wonderful arrangement as she lived next door. Then another friend in Mound had an elderly brother with MS who needed more assistance, so he moved in. Alice began replacing the boarders with elderly needing care. Alice had been a natural caregiver, and she had that caregiving personality. She had traveled with a country doctor in the horse and buggy days in Wisconsin when she was young. She had helped deliver babies, care for relatives as they had TB, which came in the 30s, and their babies. She also helped during the 1918 flu epidemic, helping with nieces and nephews and whoever needed a little bit of nursing care. She first obtained a nursing license for 3 beds and then added licensed beds a few at a time until she reached 22 licensed board and care and skilled nursing care capacity.
And Grandma's driveway, as theirs did too, would narrow on down towards the lake. The way the driveway was into Twin Burch, as you approached, the closer one got, one could see the flower gardens. She loved flowers and had many, many flower gardens with a small white picket fence, and they were filled with honeysuckles, the old-fashioned flowers, irises, daisies, balloon flowers, which I used to pop, hollyhocks, zinnias, many poofy peonies, and there will also be a big round metal table with a huge umbrella surrounded by many lawn chairs for relaxing outside of the home. And the window boxes were always filled with, again, many different colors of tuberous begonias because she loved her flowers so much. And the home itself had been added on to many, many times. Some of the pictures you're seeing were ones that had not been added onto yet, but as it added on, one would enter and go through a very large, big screened porch, which again contained many chairs for lounging. Then go up a few steps to a smaller porch with a comfy wicker couch and a rocker. Upon entering the home, also in addition, there would take you to a big day room, and that would view Black Lake through a large picture window. To the right of the day room was a white tiled kitchen, and to the left of the day room was a hallway to 4 private rooms. And then an addition again of 2 larger double rooms and a bathroom. A half bath was also located near the entrance. To the right of the main entrance was a nursing station, a cleansing room with a hopper, and beyond that a larger ward containing 3 beds, 2 smaller private porch rooms, which were near the tub, and another bathroom. Also in this area was a stairway leading to a 2nd floor with 3 more private rooms. And as a kid, I would have fun sliding down that banister. On April 2nd of 1972, Alice, who was now a resident in the nursing home herself after experiencing previous strokes, ate her lunch, went to her room, sat in her big wingback chair, and began to read her Bible and peacefully dozed away at age 81. As she aged, she often had dreamed of building a new, larger nursing home, and at one time she had architectural plans drawn up, but they never did materialize. She would truly feel very happy and proud to see what has grown through the years and has become such a needed campus with so much to offer here now. Our business was dissolved the summer of 1974 and was sold to Warren Ortenblad and Don Erickson. It was bulldozed down. Our home was used as a training drill for the fire department. And soon up came the new nursing home, also was named Twin Burch by the new owners, and Luther became the very first administrator for the new Twin Burch until another one was hired. And then he would still fill in off and on until his retirement in 1979. In June of 1979, he was given a large retirement party, and a special day was claimed as Luther Anderson Day. There is a room in the lower floor of the current care center across from the elevator called the Luther Anderson Room, and it's just before the physical therapy department. These have been very humble beginnings of a loving nursing care to older generations in this area, and has grown into this beautiful, up-to-date facility available now to so many. And I think our family members that are no longer with us would be very, very proud and happy to see what is here now, as we are. Thank you all.
And now for this month's Lake Lore.
Minnetonka would not be the vibrant city it is today without its historical roots in the milling industry. Standing as a testimony to those roots is the Burwell House. The Burwell House was built upon request of Charles Henry Burwell, who was a secretary and manager of the Minnetonka Mills. Upon its completion in 1883, Charles moved into the house with his wife and 3 children. Burwell took much pride in his home and showed it by keeping the house well maintained and made only a few minor improvements to the exterior. After Charles died in 1917, the house remained in the family until 1958 when his daughter Louise sold it. In 1970, the house was bought up by the Minnetonka Historical Society and has served as its headquarters ever since. Thanks to Charles Burwell's impressive record-keeping, the Minnetonka Historical Society has managed to recreate the house into a beautiful reminder of Minnetonka's past. For more information on the Burwell House, you can visit the Minnetonka Historical Society's website at www.minnetonka-history.org or call them at 952-930-3962.
Well, there you have it, news and events happening in and around the lake area. If you have a news story or see something exciting going on, please let us know. We can be reached here at the LMCC at 952-471-7125, via email at lmcc@lmcc-tv.org, or please check us out on our website at www.lmcc-tv.org. We'll leave you this month by bringing you the sights and sounds of Mound's annual tree lighting event. Thanks for watching and happy holidays.
3, 2,